Hi guys, watching Go Doctor 2. Today another video, another review on the channel. Today we're gonna do who did time travel best. So we have the competition between Marvel, Back to the Future, and Doctor Who. So yeah, let's get on to it. Who did time travel best? So we have Marvel, that basically when at the end of Endgame there was multiple universes. So you've got, let me say, I take this watch that Connell needs specially in this universe, I take it away. There's a universe now where Connell's not going to have a watch and he's going to be screwed. But if I go back in time and give the watch back, it's created another universe where Connell gets the watch back, but there's still a universe where Connell doesn't have the watch. Now that is basically Marvel's time travel thing. Every move you make, you splinter off into another time, and that's time travel for Marvel, which I think is very intriguing and very interesting, and it dives into quite a lot of different stuff, which I kind of like. To be fair, I like that the fact that you create a new timeline with all these different possibilities, but the other possibility still happens anyway. I kind of like that because let's just say, for example, I am Iron Man, and actually Thanos gets all the stones in his hand instead of Iron Man. There's a universe where that actually happens because each thing splinters off into its own little thing. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Marvel. Let's get on to Back to the Future, and I'll decide by the end of the video which one I prefer, and I'm going to rank them. So out of 10, which one I think is best, or just, yeah, rank them in general. So Back to the Future now. Back to the Future, great Scott! We've changed time, we need to change time back again so nothing gets changed. And if time does get changed, it creates a paradox and you start disappearing from that reality. Let's say you go back in time and you stop your dad from getting beaten up, which will relate to your dad beating up and your mom coming along and fixing you up. If your dad never got beaten up, your mom never fixed him up, so they never met, for example. That's not happened to me. It's just, I don't know, I just thought of that scenario. And for that to take place and you've stopped that from happening, you start to disappear. That's basically Back to the Future. Now, I like this idea as well. I think it's very intriguing, and of course there's a problem happening, you start to disappear, you need to create that problem again for you to continue on. And it also, when Marty stops gets his mom back together, he goes back to time, and time's changed differently because some scenarios have played out differently, creating some stuff like Biff, who is a real mean character, and bullying the dad, to the dad actually getting a better life, and because he stood up to Biff, Biff is now the weak one of the group. I like that it changes. If you change one thing, the whole thing kind of changes. But yeah, you need to move around it. So there's that. And now for Doctor Who. Yes. So Doctor Who is very much if you change time, you can kind of do that. But if it's a fixed point in time where some scenarios you cannot change, no matter what, it won't let you. You have to let it happen. Like Pompeii, you have to let it happen because it was a fixed point in time. And The Waters of Mars, with that episode, these crew members had to die, or especially Adelaide Brooke had to die. So you have them scenarios. And then you have other scenarios where you can go back in time and kind of save some stuff. There's a soldier about to get killed in World War One. The Doctor can kind of pick him up and move him somewhere else. But if he's a major part of history, let's say like Vincent van Gogh committing suicide, if the Doctor just stops Van Gogh from committing suicide, it changes time completely and it will destroy time. So he cannot stop that from happening. Some stuff have to happen. And now these three scenarios, I really like them all. Now, which ones do I like best and why? I'm going to go with, as much as Doctor Who's my favourite show, I'm going to put towards, no, that's the bottom. That's the bottom list. So out of the three, that's at third place. At second place is Back to the Future because I like the scenarios that play out. And I like there's consequences for every action you make. Every action will change certain stuff, which stuff like this doesn't actually happen often in Doctor Who. So that's why when there is stakes, but you can change some stuff. You should go back to present day and see some stuff change differently. And I think Doctor Who should do that, and it's missing out that trick, which Back to the Future kind of does in its trilogy and changes again and again. You have a scenario where Back to the Future changes, and it's like, oh, we're in a this is a better place scenario. The second movie, he goes back to present day. It's in a World War setting, and everything's gone chaos. And then you've got the third one where it's gone back to kind of normal with the better life that he lived. So yeah, and then you've got Marvel, which is at first place because I absolutely love. There's a scenario where Iron Man snaps and wins, and then there's an Iron Man that snaps and Thanos got the stones and he's gonna go boom anyway and just take everything out. You've got scenarios like that where the Hulk took the Mind Stone or have you whatever the time travel one, and then that universe is now screwed. You can put it back and give it on back, and their timeline will continue. There's another timeline where that actually they all screwed because they didn't have that stone anymore. You know, so there's every consequence leads off into another branch and goes into a different dynamic every time, and I just love that. And I would love to see another parallel universe like that in Doctor Who, for instance. You know, Doctor Who has done parallel universe twice, I do believe, Inferno and Cybermen, Age of Steel. You know, they've done that before, and it's done quite well. But there's links in. Like, think of it as, oh, the Doctor just saved the Queen, but in one universe, the Doctor didn't save the Queen, and somehow that creates a massive chaos and destruction that leaks into into our universe, and then the Doctor's kind of try and sort that out and go through there. I just think it would never be ending that way, but I just really like the Marvel aspect of time travel. I think it's the best way to go down. And some of you may say, well, isn't it all the same time travel is all the same? There are certain tweaks and certain stuff that does differently, which I think that's my ranking. So Marvel does it best. Back to the Future, I like the consequences, so that's second. And Doctor Who, it's my favourite show ever. But it could be tweaked upon, and I think to make it like these, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, that's my thoughts, that's my opinion, maybe an unpopular opinion. Let me know yours down below, get the little bell so you don't miss a video, and subscribe to the channel, because we've just hit 300 subscribers. That's amazing, guys. I just want to thank you all so much for that. And of course, I have TikTok now. I just started TikTok, so check the TikTok out, yeah. And also check my Twitter. I have Twitter now, and I have Instagram, so they should be all there, hopefully, on the screen. Screenshot, type them in, get on them, and follow me on there as well if you like. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the video very soon. Have a nice day.